Yeah, as I mentioned, if you want to catch up on my previous sessions, feel free to request a link in the chat, and I will link to you previous sessions. Mainly, I just want to share the story with you guys, and oh my gosh. Well, that was fast. There we go. Nothing else, I get to play more of this game, even if no one's watching. I have no audience, but at least I get to play the game, and maybe maybe not someone's watching. I'm very aware my voice is probably not the best to listen to. Let's see, where did we leave off? It's been a while. I didn't think I played since last week. Okay. Well, that's right, we just got down the body, and we've discovered the bullet inside of it. So essentially, to recap over the past session, we focused on getting the body down. We did the field autopsy, and we've been speaking to some people nearby. Essentially we found out there's an ongoing strike in an area called Martinez. This is a part of the world that's called Martinez. This is a port in the larger city of Revachol. Revachol is basically a city in the center of the world, so to speak. It's come under military occupation ever since its revolution. Come under military occupation since the revolution. Sorry, there's stuff going on in the background. And now the RCM is basically the only real institution that actually provides any sense of services in this city. In this particular area of Martinique, there's an ongoing strike between the local dock workers union and the company Wild Pines. Wild Pines doesn't seem to treat this area too well, although there's accusations that the union acts like a mafia group. Although then again, that's what the company said. We are investigating a murder that has taken place in the midst of all this. We have finally gotten down a body that was hung up in this tree. We did the field autopsy they just stated. We found out that they were killed with a gun, not by hanging. And basically we've made a lot of progress in that regard. We will be going to bed soon enough, but until then, we are going to basically get as much as we can on stuff. We're not going to get booze. We'll take care of that later. That's funny. I had 2 viewers for like a minute and then they left. To be fair, I don't have trouble getting into this. But now that we've internalized, well, we're going to see. Now that we've internalized communism and we have internalized reality, we can now get XP. Talking. Which will be useful for getting skills, which we desperately need. No idea what this is. Oh, cool, money. Don't need that, fine.
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering the machine permanently inaccessible.
Oof.
A thick layer of graffito covers the lenses. You spell out the word Onuk written on the other side, with N and C scribbled backwards.
Basically Kuno missed.
That's Kuno on the lens.
Shift your focus to the back.
Under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the water lies a coast studded with concrete and reeds. On it, a church on stilts, lanky weather-worn wooden planks, an X-shaped cross topping its tower. You know this to be the Star of Pericarnassus, or the Cairo, the central symbol of the Pericarnassian Church, a star, a great moral height to be strived towards.
There's one thing I like about the encyclopedia skill is that you get a lot of the lore.
The church looks old and weather-worn. There are no lights in the windows. Around the large wooden building, you see chunks of sea ice gathered on the beach, and a small tent set up on the ice.
Oh, there's a tent over there. Someone's residing on the ice nearby. Huh, wonder who. Poor little viewer.
The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks unhygienic.
Good thing I'm wearing gloves. And a little shake.
Probably some kids.
A simple but clever solution to ruining a coin-operated viewer. It took ingenuity.
Oh, cool. Money and meds.
Trying to sneak up.
What's in here? An orange bum hat. And meds. The door. Also, what's that up there? Who is... Yo.
You see a young man on a balcony nursing a cigarette. His eyes have been following you for a while.
Trust me, Harlan. Unless you've played the game, then you don't know. Because trust me, I could not figure it. Well, I can. I'll be fair. Actually, take your best guess. I can't confirm or deny it for the sake of spoilers, but unless you've played the game, or if you watch someone else play the game, which in this case you're doing, you probably don't know. Oh? That's a good guess. That's actually a pretty good guess, considering our character's mental state. But truth is no. Even our character's not that insane. That would be an interesting twist, though. And considering this game, that would be very believable. I think there may or may not be an option where your character actually thinks that, but it actually legitimately wouldn't be possible because he wasn't in the area when that happened.
Not looking for any trouble, officer.
Something that should be noted is that in this area, people don't really talk to the police much, so when the police coming into the area is very rare. Apparently, we were called in several days after the murder happened. Otherwise, we don't enter this area. But basically, we were only called to respond to an incident several days after it happened. So we got here 4 days or 3 days after the body was already in the tree. And then we just sat around and basically had our mental health crisis for another 3 or 4 days until the lieutenant found us and actually got us to be a somewhat coherent force. Be somewhat actually good at stuff. Oh, hello everyone. Oh, you lost your gun, at least at the time. Yes, we have lost our gun. That is true. We need to find that. We also need to find our badge. We need to find a lot of stuff because we're not in very good shape. The only reason we are actually not drunk on the side of the road is because the lieutenant found us. Why are you whispering? It sounds no trouble for me. I just want. Okay. One of the things I like doing when I actually have viewers, and one of the reasons why I like streaming games like this, is that we get to do viewership direct democracy. So voice your opinion if there's anything that you think we should be saying. You are the voices in in the dude's head. Not just these. These are also the voices in the head, but also you guys. Ah, music stopped. Anyway. Okay, we can be like a terrible cop, like we can like be terrible person, like kind of what's going on IRL if you've been paying attention to the news lately. But we could also be like an actually decent person. And the game actually will make fun of us if we actually will make fun of the fact that we're trying to be a decent person in an institution that doesn't allow decent people. But although the game makes fun of us no matter what we do, that's just the nature of the game. But yeah, no trouble from me. I just want to know what's going on here.
I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie if that's okay. I just want to finish my cigarette.
Might need to turn up this volume. For those of you, just a little tidbit, gendarmerie is actually like the French word for police.
Don't let him go. This could be your witness. The balcony has a great view of the whole thing.
Actually, the gendarmerie really needs to talk
Is
to
it
you.
really that important?
He asks you adjusting his shirt.
All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run.
Alright, can you tell me your
My
name?
name? My name is Martin Martinez.
Really?
That's definitely not his real name.
You're not actually called Martin Martinez, are you?
No, of course not. Could you please lower your voice?
To be fair, the union doesn't like people talking to the cops. One, because we're an extremely corrupt institution that doesn't really help people, and we kind of serve just the ruling occupying force. And two, they kind of see themselves as the true authority and don't like people meddling with their turf. Looks like you got a good view of the Whirling's backyard. Can you tell me anything about the hanging?
I can tell that you finally got him down. Thank you. It was quite a disturbing sight, even by Martinez standards.
You're welcome.
What were you doing last Sunday?
Oh. You already asked me that, didn't you?
Wait, is someone else investigating the lynching?
Did I?
No, not you. Some more muscular type.
And
What?
when did you speak to this more muscular gentleman?
Someone else is investigating the lynching.
Last week? I don't know. Look,
Well, we don't know. To be fair, we might not be we're not the only force in Martinique. There's also the Union. They pretty much are like, they see themselves as a local authority, so they could be wanting to. It could be that they want to find out who did it because they don't like strange stuff happening on their backyard, assuming that they weren't the ones who did it themselves, or because they want to give up an appearance of like investigating. It could also be the company, as it was one of their security guards who was killed. But then again, the company could also be trying to do weird stuff with this, or they could be just trying to find enough evidence that they can pin it on the Union. It could also be some force we haven't met yet. I mean, there's a bunch of forces in Martinez, and this is an intersection of the city and probably geopolitical influences that are going on, because that's one of the things that this isn't just a murder mystery. There's like a bunch of political forces intersecting this.
A downy blanket of white to cover up the miserable poverty of the scene.
Yes, I mean this place doesn't look so great.
You didn't answer the question. What were you doing last Sunday?
I had a friend over.
What kind
It
of
was my
friend?
Sunday friend.
What's your friend's real name? Did you see something?
He doesn't reply, gesturing no with his cigarette. Under the dull and darkening sky, the neighboring windows stand silent.
Let's see. Don't know who's here. Hold on. Need to set my Discord status. I'm going to post the link of my recorded first session for just anyone who's interested. this should be the YouTube video. However low quality it is, feel free to go watch this sometime if you want. Alright, back to the streaming. Alright, we'll talk later. There's literally nothing else I can say to you.
No. We won't.
What?
Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
Come on, stay and talk.
This isn't the place or time for questions. Who knows who might be watching from the distance, hidden behind the curtains?
That's fair enough. Hey, listen, I'm just trying to make things okay again. Can we meet again sometime else?
For a moment, the man on the balcony seems almost vulnerable. Something moves in the depths of his feline eyes. Compassion and a hint of understanding. There's snow gathering on his hair and on his shoulders. A speckle of white against the purple that hangs loose on his slender frame.
I am sorry, but I really don't have the information you're looking for.
You sure?
But, hold on, what's that? For a split second, his hand lingers, as though gesturing towards a stone placed right next to the front door. It's a sign.
Good luck with the investigation.
Oh? I mean, we can always just see where he walks to, and we know where he lives.
He's gone.
She ran after him. if he
No
went.
point in running. Tenements like these often have multiple exits. If he doesn't want to talk to us, then he'll know how to hide himself.
Do we just give up?
He could be a witness. Him or his Sunday friend. Either way, we need to look into that muscular type who's asking about our case. He did leave us a sign. Did you see that? He wanted to draw our attention to that stone right over there.
Now throw a small rock on a
If we find a way inside the building, we can ask around for his apartment.
Great, let's do that. Let's see what's on the stone.
A stone, like any other, lying in a whirl of sleet and mud. Maybe there's something under it.
Let's turn it over.
There's a key beneath it, rusty from the dirt.
Cool.
This must be for the front door. Pity doesn't have the apartment number on it. This building has many apartments and the man can be in any of them.
How are we gonna find
We'll
the right
just
one?
have to go in and see.
Put the stone back. Well, we can do that later. It's late after all. Most people are most people are probably getting ready for bed. What is today anyway? Oh, it's Monday. Ugh, Monday. Well, yeah, actually makes sense. Probably explains why the lieutenant came out to meet us. It's the beginning of the work week. Spoken to some of the people nearby. Fast track macaronis with humanitarian aid label. Humanitarian aid tuna fish. Not for resale. What do you think you're doing? Food gift from the people of Messenia. Everything is good here. Speakers from the people of Samara. Basically, it seems like this guy is a truck driver. He was delivering these goods, but due to the holdup and the traffic jam, he's just selling them now. I let the goods do the talking.
You see a Samaran street vendor surrounded by a motley assemblage of goods. When he realizes you're looking at him, his face breaks into a wide, welcoming grin. The name Sileng is embroidered over his breast pocket.
Probably his name.
Happy shopping, officer! Everything's cool here.
He gives you a thumb up. What's with the accent? What's so cool?
Everything's cool. The goods are cool, the customers are cool, the place is cool. And one more thing, officer, you're very cool. Bang, 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 bang!
not quite sure. I'm not cool. I don't know. I don't know.
What? No, I can't believe you said that. You got personal style. You know what you like.
You're also probably trying to sell me stuff.
You like premium menswear. Look around and browse. Everything looks cool on a guy like you. Take your time.
He actually didn't used to sound like this in the original version. He sounded...
Don't be distracted by the flattery and funny man act. Questions.
What kind of stuff are you selling here?
Only the coolest goods in Revachol. I've got sneakers, speakers, extremely comfy pants too. Try them on right here. No shame, only freedom.
Where did you get those comfy pants?
I'm an entrepreneur, officer. I've got sources, buyers, suppliers, distributors, manufacturers, wholesalers, all extremely cool and above board.
Did you have a permit to sell all this?
Good joke, officer. Here we don't have permits, just economic freedom. Take a look around.
And cap time, my
You
friend.
glance around the decrepit buildings, the miserable weather, the sidewalks strewn with sunflower seeds and a dust-choked air.
Economic quote-unquote freedom, alright.
It's beautiful. Beautiful freedom.
Give me the true, doesn't need a permit to sell. Yes, it is. Anyone can
It
set
is,
up...
yes. Anyone can set up their shop whenever they feel like it.
Ah, so it is really neoliberalism. There is like literally no business permits regulations. To be fair, Revachol doesn't really have much of a government. We are literally like the police is practically like the only government service provided. Like there is practically nothing else. It's the military regime. The military occupation does virtually nothing. They don't. They're like literally funded and told not to do anything. They just sit in their bases and just give us like just give like the RCM, which is our institution, like a little bit of resources just to make sure the city isn't like a complete chaos. That's literally what they do. Don't tell me not to sell drugs. Oh, you actually can buy drugs if we choose to, but we're trying to not be self-destructive with our dude.
That's right. No permits, no bureaucracy. That's why this city and its law officials are so cool.
Because we get to go anarcho-capitalism, and that's like totally good for this city. I mean, this city doesn't look like it's been helped by... The city doesn't look like it's been helped by that. Wait, what are we doing here? If there are no permits, look at Kim and the police insignia on the sleeve.
If you wanted to be cynical about it, you could say we are here to protect the interests of property holders. I am not, however.
Well, I'm sure you believe you aren't, Kim, but...
My man, officer, you make all this possible. Without you, this climate would be extremely bad for business. You're part of the Gossamer state.
Wait, what's gossamer?
Gossamer is a fine, filmy substance consisting of cobwebs spun by small spiders, seen especially in autumn. It's safe to say he's referring to the near absence of regulations.
Let's see, what should... So basically, I think there's two things. We can either say... Let's see, basically, he's more or less admitting that we're pretty much... We just make sure, like, anyone can just, like, do business. That's pretty much all we do, like, just protect property. We can either say two things. You can say, we're an officer of anarchy, which would be pretty cool, like... I'm more of an anarchist IRL, so this sort of fits into this, but I don't know which one of these it's going to boost, because if we boost the communist one, we get more XP, so... we can also say, I imagine this is probably the communist one, but I'm not quite sure. Oh, you guys vote whether we should do, like, 2 or 4. If anyone's... Four. Well, hopefully this isn't... Actually, let's see. We can't save. I should have saved before I talked to this guy. Okay, let's hope we're gonna live with our consequences, then protecting a state.
Yeah, that's the main thing about you.
Ah.
Freedom is great. It's what lets independent entrepreneurs like me sell quality goods at competitive prices.
That's moralist. Moralists are central. They're centrists in this universe. So we actually selected the centrist option. Basically, it's like, where I guess it was sort of like being upset that we're not doing it. Let's see.
Good joke.
You glance.
It's beautiful.
It is.
That's right.
If you wanted to.
My
Gossamer is a fine, filmy substance.
Let's see what number 2 is
consisting
going to
of
give us.
cobwebs.
yeah, cool ruins. I get to sell quality goods like these by cutting out the middlemen. You don't have to rebuild your house, live in a crater, or in a tree. Where can you do that? Only here.
We get to live in trees. How great! And well, seriously, the reason why I want to select, we've internalized communism, which pretty much one of the things it gets to do is that every time we select a left-wing dialogue option, it gives us XP. So yeah, I do want to so it's like literally in our interest to literally say every communist thing we can.
You're pretty sure you can live in a tree elsewhere too,
Oh.
but he
What was
would
that?
believe it anyway.
Oh, a new follower. Thanks for following us. Oh no, you support moralism. Yes, you centrist. Dreg was very disappointed in you, as am I. In all seriousness, no, to be fair, it did look like it. And to be fair, a lot of the politics in this game take place from a very Eastern European perspective, where communism is basically like tankyism is pretty much the case. Pretty much the ideologies are neoliberalism / anarcho-capitalism, centrism, fascism / monarchism, and then communism, which is more aligned with Marxist-Leninism. But there is a hint of anarchism, and sort of the game implies anarchism is probably the best because it does also. There is some bias towards, well, the devs are literally communists, but communism is portrayed as probably the best one, morally speaking, but there are admittedly problems with it. Anyway, let's see if we can get a discount since he likes cops so much. So you're such a bootlicker. Can we get a discount?
No need for discounts at ceilings, officer. Everything's already on sale. Anything you want, 50% off.
I'll take that as no.
But did he first mark them up 100%, just so that he could put them on sale?
Are those things really on sale, or you just jack up the price first?
My man, you know how the game is played. You and me, we should work together. What do you think? Shake things up?
He winks. Well, that was a non-answer. That's well, then let me ask you something else.
Anything for you.
The food packages say you're selling have humanitarian food written on them. How come?
You mean these delicious pre-packaged shelf-stable meal kits? Really easy to cook, no hassle, really cheap too. Buy some, try them out.
Basically, you're selling humanitarian aid.
No hassle. There's a little of a hassle here, it appears. A moral hassle.
Doesn't that beat the idea of humanitarian aid? That's what makes it humanitarian.
It is practically free.
Practically.
5 cents a piece. Rock that tuna. Why not some macaroni too?
I think one said not for resale on the packaging.
No problem here, officer. I get all this from one of my suppliers, an extremely reputable guy.
Can you give me a name or anything like that?
Wait. Humanix. Humanitarian aid.
Does your supplier drive that Humanix lorry over there? Point at the lorry with the big Humanix sign on it.
What?
The street looks over as Usher takes the lorry, as though he's never seen a lorry in his entire life. Oh, we caught him.
A convincing performance. Bravo.
Look, officer. I'm just the retailer. You'd have to talk to my supplier if you got questions about the supply chain. That's how the game works.
Interesting.
Interesting. Complete that with a Pepe face, and that was the perfect lieutenant. If that is Blue Notebook makes a note.
We'll need more if we're going to pin this one down, he thinks. Good questions, though. Sharp eyes, officer.
So like if we don't solve the mystery, but we just solve like 1,000 other crimes in the process. Like before, like we're supposed to be solving the mystery, but we're just like solving like dozens of other crimes along the way.
It's for show, my liege. He knows you need more than this to bust this guy. Later, perhaps.
Where are you from, Sailing?
Me? It's a boring story, officer. Who cares about the past? I'm all business now. All Revachol.
Don't worry, I'm not some crazy racist dude like we encountered last
This
session.
man probably comes from Seaguy, sometimes known as the Apricot Suzerainty, an archipelago in the Samaran Isola.
You're from Apricot Suzerainty, right?
Apricot Suzerainty calls to mind an era when the Seaguy archipelago was colonized by Revachol. It's a bit of a slur, in other words.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. You're pronouncing it very painstakingly. Apricot calls to mind Vince Seagy.
Very cool. I admire your awareness of our intertwined histories. It's super nice of you to apologize for colonialism. But the Apricot Suzerainty is a shithole. That's why I left.
Oh, it didn't affect. Oh yeah, we're the sorry cop. Because we actually want to apologize for doing terrible stuff, and to be fair, that's kind of matching the IRL. UN courts are free trial. Yep, that's pretty much the case. You get a free trial for this this not just rebranded UN food aid. Totally nothing suspicious going on here. Let's see, should we say, isn't it only a shithole because we were colonial power? Revachol used to be a major imperial empire, pseudo-fascist. I mean, literally, the fascist tree in this game is basically supporting the old monarchy of Revachol. Basically, it was the fascist monarchy pretty much colonized a lot of the world, then came the revolution, but the rest of the world didn't like the revolution. So essentially, the world combined its military strengths to crush the revolution. And all the people the revolution was executed, and ever since, our country has been under military occupation for 50 years. And they never rebuilt the place. It's literally all these craters and bullet holes are from the war. They've never been rebuilt. And now it's just no regulation. Literally, the police are practically the only government institution. But I think I've stressed the point enough. Anyway, one or two. 2000 Iraq. Yeah, it pretty much described what Revachol is like. Well, actually, no. Well, you see, at least in this case, it'd be if the U.S. military actually funded local militias or local police departments to actually maintain order. Apparently, and you'll find this out. I'll spoil this a bit for you because we'll find out in the lore anyway. The RCM was sort of created independently by the citizens of Revachol because they were tired of the chaos on their streets. So they basically created a militia branded after the old revolutionary militia to basically maintain some basic sense of order after the military coalition came in. The coalition was embarrassed by this, and basically they realized out of sheer pragmatism it was simply easier and more pragmatic to simply recognize the RCM as the official law enforcement branch and basically integrate them into their court system, integrate them into the law system, and gave them a small amount of funding to basically maintain order, and basically we're sort of subcontracted out to basically maintain order in the city. That's all part of the lore. And like literally, like this game has very expansive lore. I mean, if we go, there's like a statue nearby, and we can like find out a ton about the king. We just go to the statue. That's probably one of the best things of this game. If you have like the money, or like if just get this game and play it. It's worth your time, especially if you like history, if you like politics, you'll love this game. Anyway, one or two. You know what? We can always like try both. You're welcome. I do try to be supportive of the people.
That's so cool, officer. Speaking of, why not support an independent local entrepreneur by buying some pens and glasses?
Can I use woke impulse to try to get you to buy my stuff? Pretty much most businesses in a nutshell.
This man probably comes from the lieutenant, Apricot Suzer.
Very cool. If you say so, officer. I don't worry too much about politics. I'm an entrepreneur, you know. Whatever's good for business is good for me.
I have a feeling this guy would be selling like the racist mugs if it gave him money. I'll look around, thanks. Well, that was interesting. This totally not at all shady businessman here who's just like this is totally just a legit local business from the community. It's not at all shady.
There are clothes inside. Cheap second-hand clothes, smelling of strangers' body odors.
You should do that with shitty shipping. I got muddy until I got boring. There are clothes inside. Cheap second-hand clothes smelling of strangers' body odors.
Don't be shy. These are premium class clothes. Good quality fabrics, best retro design. Save the economy with your style, officer.
Consume!
How about some premium class service over here? Like paying with net worth. Go over and ask him if you can do that. Save the economy? That sounds off.
Save the economy? What are you talking about?
Haven't you heard, officer? We've got to be economically conscious. Recycle your cash, keep it in circulation. Don't buy new things. Buy eco.
Oh my gosh, it's like literally like individualist consumer culture like personified with one person. This doesn't make any sense. Why exactly does the economy need saving?
Look around, officer. You see all these premium goods just sitting there, not getting bought. We've got to keep the flow of goods moving.
Well, they would also be moving if, well, to be fair, they could also be moving if you weren't like just selling humanitarian aid.
Is this really the economy we want to leave to our children?
We got to save mother economy. But I don't have children, I think. And you don't. We gotta stop. It's just nature. Powerful economies expand, weak economies go extinct. Look, man, I just want to buy some clothes. But I don't have children, I think. None of these are really the left-wing option, I don't think. I don't have children, I think.
Too bad, officer. Kids make it all worthwhile. Without kids, who's going to be around to enjoy the economy? Don't let me stop you. Open the box and browse a little.
Browse
You
the
find
box.
your hands deep in tattered and faded garments made from weird polyester blends that make your body itch and sweat in all the wrong places. The box smells like cat piss or like an old person with no money.
Oof.
Economical, but also trendy. Look first hand, buy second hand. Keep the economy moving.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if we can find anything interest.
Something cold
Oh, cool.
grazes your hand. Synthetic and sleek. A windbreaker. Surf, it says, but also wind, summer, 100% waterproof, and sport. All in different typefaces.
Good choice, officer.
We don't have-
sporty. And it's only $4.50 for you, sir.
We literally don't have the money. We're broke.
You see two lowly, defeated speakers, thralls,
And we're gonna need that money for
slaves,
tomorrow to
basically,
get like a place to
perched
stay.
atop them like conquerors surveying the land. A pair of found, durable wear sneakers, ultra series.
Poor speakers.
I can see you with taste for luxury, officer. Can't keep your eyes off those sneakers?
Speaking of luxury, You should go over and ask about paying for those sneakers with your net worth.
What the heck's net worth? Inspect the sneakers.
A pair of Faun Ultras. The design is impossibly sleek and simple. A futuristic
Supreme
silhouette
exists.
with a sleek monochrome colorway, a jet black upper, and a silver-lined midsole.
Hey, grew up in a commie where Supreme exists. I actually don't completely get the joke, but actually, let's see. What do you mean by Supreme? Sorry, can you
Those sneakers, mister.
elaborate?
Those sneakers are the latest Faun sneakers. Super air, super fine, super cool. Only 50 real.
Oh, it's this guy? Like,
Only? That's madness.
you want $50 for a pair of sneakers? Do know my hotel room doesn't cost that much.
Faun Ultra. We're the future. You remember the slogan from some magazine?
Guys trying to rip me off.
These once
Speakers.
respectable speakers have been conquered, reduced to a mere prop by the indomitable Faun Ultras atop them.
Oh, there's some way of saying it.
A small heat emboss on the veneer reads, Solidarity Aid from the People's Republic of Samara. The speakers themselves don't seem to display any magical qualities.
Oh, so the speakers are actually apparently part of some sort of like economic aid package or something like that. That came from like, I guess, another country during the revolutionary period.
No, don't look at the speakers, officer. Look at the sneakers. The sneakers are the stars here.
Hey, but where looks the sneakers?
Then look at them again. These are the premium lifestyle sneakers, officer. The best on the market.
These once respectable, a small
No, don't
What?
look at the speakers, officer.
Does
Look
anyone-
at the sneakers. These, officer? These speakers are Samaran garbage. I'm ashamed to even use them for props. Don't waste your time on them.
Samaran trash. That sounds like they're from the Samaran People's Republic, produced under the dictatorship of the proletariat.
Oh, Samaran People's Republic. It seems that they're one of the remaining socialist countries from the revolutionary period. Most of the socialist countries were crushed by the revolution. It seems that the Samaran People's Republic has been one of the few surviving.
These once a small
One of the few
heat
ones that
emboss-
survived.
No, don't look
Poor
at
little speakers.
No, don't pity them, officer. These are old Samaran garbage.
Samaran trash. That sounds like they're from the Samaran People's Republic, produced under the dictatorship of the proletariat.
Can't I just buy the sad, conquered Samaran speakers?
No way, officer. These aren't for sale. They're bad speakers. Low-fi socialist junk.
What? The refreshed. Supreme with a shitty low buffer brand. To be fair, that does describe a lot. But I need some speakers.
Well, if you want, but see, they are the pedestal for my sneakers. If I let go of the speakers, where will the sneakers go? I can't leave premium lifestyle sneakers on the ground.
Aren't they already on top of a box?
If, on the other hand, you wanted to buy the sneakers too, I could maybe throw in the speakers for little extra. 50 cents?
Damn, so you have to buy the sneakers first.
Oh, come on.
No way, officer! These
That's
aren't
why I
for
want them. I
sale.
might be a lo-fi
They're
social duck
bad.
myself.
No, officer. You're a high-class policeman who accepts nothing less than the best. Lucky for you, I've got the best on sale.
I don't know what I am. I don't even know it myself. I want speakers.
Well, but see, if on the other...
Damn, so you have to buy the sneakers first.
There actually is some neat stats, although there's the Lord Encyclopedia, but that's can't up in my hat. Anyway, I don't have that much money. We need that money for other stuff. What's in here?
There's a pile of cheap sunglasses in a small box, a variety of shapes and colors.
Alright, there'll be some interesting stuff coming up, so I think you might enjoy coming back once we start talking to the union.
You like sunglasses, officer? I've got the latest styles right here.
Take the stick of sunglasses, stick them under your nose. I need sunglasses and like a black hoodie so I can like become Antifa cop.
Stylish shades, huh? They'd be even more stylish if you paid for them with net worth. Go over and ask him.
Why do you keep bringing up net worth, Savoy Fair? Try the shades though.
Abort. These are hideous. What's more, they don't even fit your face. You can feel them pinching your nose and chafing against your brow.
Low quality.
Damn, officer! You look like a mega secret spy! Very secret. They're practically made for you. I'll let you have them for 2 real and 50 cents.
Stop looking at me.
It's going to be very difficult for anyone to take you seriously with these things on your face.
No, you are definitely not buying those.
Same my face is free again. You're right, I'm too sensible for those.
Are you sure? But they look so good on you. You should think this through, officer.
Shades of self-destruction. Good for taking drugs and not good for anything else. Rummage to the
These
trash.
are all boring. Boring third-rate ho-hum sunglasses made of cheap Syrahese plastic. The kind of plastic that melts in the sun.
Oh my gosh!
Those UV stickers are almost certainly just there for the show. If anything, these lenses probably direct more UV light into your pupils. A UV magnifier.
Oh gosh!
These are all first-rate sunglasses. Premium design, superb material, very cool, UV resistant. These will definitely keep your eyes safe and cool while doing your dangerous police work.
It's also like, this guy is like just trying to pull it.
No luck. All you find is this lime-colored cellophane visor, produced by a bargain sportswear brand called Amphibian, apparently. There's a malformed green frog on its bent cap.
It's literally the, oh my gosh, it's literally the Supreme brand you were talking about.
Oh, that visor is perfect for you, officer. It'll definitely keep the sun out of your eyes while you're shooting criminals. Bang, bang! And all for a mere 6 real.
That's overpriced. Are we French?
I hope not.
You don't like it? Sure, Square Joe. No problem. Let's get you some real shades.
Yeah, those look dumb. Officer? Yeah, let's go over to the car. Thankfully, I've got the money. I already paid for the damages. You should think about calling it a day. Maybe the nights are already miserably cold this time of year. Yes,
should
my hostel room calls.
We
Come
can
on,
pick
Kim.
up where we left off tomorrow morning.
He always stops mid-sentence. Basically, he's saying we should stop for tonight because it's late and we need to go to bed because cops do need sleep. That's yes. We don't need sleep. Aw, but I wanted to talk to the union. I guess we'll have to do so tomorrow. Inside, you catch a glimpse of union paraphernalia, a strike poster, and some red pennants. Dishes are drying, the smell of chemicals and pine trees. An aroma of spices, alcohol, and tomato hangs in the air.
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimpled lock. It's painted blue. You immediately feel drawn to the color. Blue is for mystery.
Touch the
The
door.
cobalt blue surface feels rough to touch. The stainless steel door is flush with its frame on every side. Old cobalt paint, rough on the fingers. 40, 50 years since this was painted, maybe.
I tried to push on
The
the door.
door does not budge.
I wonder where this door leads.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads?
Out of duty, we need to find something pertinent to the investigation.
Yes. I suppose it's worth seeing if we can get in. Just to be thorough. as a side investigation.
Door and the main investigation will merge into a stereo investigation.
If you say so, Gart is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
Yo, Gart.
Can I help you?
Another
thing. Great. I love those.
There's a mysterious blue steel door in the back of the kitchen.
Oh, yes, that door, sure. There's nothing mysterious about it. It's just a door.
What do you know what's behind it? Do you have...
No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. And I don't care either. It's not like I've been wondering about it for 10 years. It's just a frit warehouse, probably. Or some boring storage space with a bunch of old junk and dust. Junk and dust.
Runs his finger across the counter to check for dirt.
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing.
I think you know what's back there.
Fine, okay, a little. But my job doesn't leave me time for wondering about one locked door in one of the cafeterias I manage. So I haven't opened it. I have cleaned the whole place 100 times over, though, after the animals. And I haven't found a key, so good luck with that.
I actually know where to find the key, but we need to do
Yes.
that later. We don't need a drink right now. Dude, you okay?
The worker. A colorful piece of plastic is dangling from his
Back to the piece of plastic.
It's a dock worker's ID, doubling as a shift card and a job permit. A young, able-bodied man stares back at you from the photo. Santiago S. John.
Don't know if we want to steal the dude's ID. We can do that later if you guys want me to.
The worker is in a
Let's
deep
see
slumber.
if we can wake him up.
There is
my
only
gosh.
one way to wake this bone idol from his slumber. Roar like a hurricane. Rip the buildings from the earth.
Oh my gosh, we succeeded! Wake up! There's an order! I am the law!
Why the yelling man?
The 30-something man lifts his head and gives you a pensive look.
Looks like a Sow descendant. A lot of Sow dock workers around.
You're alive? You looked out of the count for so long.
Wait, what? I was just sleeping. What do you want, officer?
Anything interesting in your dreams?
Thank God, no.
Was it a fathomless darkness which we ought to be deferred, like corpses to a mausoleum?
The worker stares at you. His eyes dry from sleep. A web of wrinkles covers his tan
To be fair,
forehead.
we are being kind of weird.
I don't know what you're talking about, kind sir. But when I'm out, then I'm really out. No corpses. No mausoleums. Just quality time.
A little me time in the abyssal pelagic zone. You can never return to it now. Only detective work remains. Wakefulness and detection.
Tell me about the wild pines. Point to the writing on the...
That's the name of my employer. I work in logistics.
He doesn't sound too enthusiastic about this.
How's that going?
How's it going? Haven't you noticed what's going on outside?
Of course, it's a total madhouse.
Good. Then you understand the gist of it. We would all be better off without the employers and their employment. For one, I can get some goddamn shut-eye. Right to sleep, I say.
Why are you sleeping here when the others are out striking?
Nate got it. Majoret's got it. He's guarding the gate. I'm just getting some sleep. Or was.
Who's behind organizing the strike?
We are. The workers. The union. We know what we need. What's right for us.
You mean there's no leader?
Okay. I guess there's also Everard. He's in charge of the union. He's smart, knows how to negotiate. He's got our back.
Ah, so Everett's basically sort of the leader. How about the dead body in the backyard?
Yeah, what about it?
You seem cool with it. Do you have many of those hanging from the trees here?
You know, people die here every day. Someone's found in a ditch, another one falls in a manhole, a third one gets eaten by stray dogs.
This guy sounds kinda... Well, I can see why he gets drunk and just passes out from drinking with this.
If someone has decided to die on top of a tree, then how is it my concern?
Well, someone has to look into it. Looks like I'm that someone. Tell me what you know.
I can tell you this. Trouble's ahead.
What
You
trouble?
heard what I said. Draw your own conclusions. That's all I know, and I prefer to keep it this way.
I just wants to grill, or in this case, drink and sleep, but... Can it
The
give...
lieutenant gives you a little nod, then makes a note in his blue notebook. So Union people think he was a killer, he thinks. Even Sleepyhair. This doesn't help a lot, but it's something. Good work, detective.
So basically, whoever was... Basically, the guy who was hung was probably... It seems like the Union thinks he was like a bad guy, and that... He probably had it coming. Yours? Point the balance.
Indeed. Help yourself to some. Wait. No. It's empty. Sorry about that, pal.
Alright, let you sleep.
The dock worker doesn't answer. His head is already back down on the table, in sweet sleep. The worker is in a deep slumber.
Alright, if you guys want me to steal his badge, or his ID, which will be useful later, but even if it is unethical, all about the money, you know, we can do that later if you want me to. Anyway, Kim wants us to, go to bed, so we're going to do that. Well, actually, we'll probably run off and talk to some people and then sleep. Because we gotta take advantage of our time.
Yes?
Makes you know I can't remember anything.
No response. He's having trouble processing it, believing it even.
I don't remember anything. There was heavy drinking involved.
Have you tried concentrating on something other than your personal affairs?
There is a sudden, harsh edge to his voice, like he's tired of hearing about your personal affairs.
But I'm completely lacking basic information about even this organization we're in. Can you help me?
Fine. We should get through this day first. Off hours begin at 9 p.m. If you're still having trouble then, I can give you an orientation.
What's wrong with personal
Not a
affairs?
The
just nature of
RCM
lieutenancy.
deploys a self-styled structure called the Decomptage as its chain of command. Every lieutenant is responsible for 2 sergeants and 8 officers. That means the average lieutenant has to deal with quite a few personal affairs. Even you know this.
What should I
Try
concentrate?
work. The case at hand.
Right,
It can work miracles.
This is a medical situation.
Really? You look fine to me.
Talk about serious, unbelievable damage here. Some of the mirror had no idea who I was.
This psychodrama is unbecoming of an officer.
You think? I want to be-
Clearly, he prefers to think you're malingering. He cannot fathom that anyone could drink so much as to retroactively erase their entire life.
It's not psychological. Some sort of major brain damage has occurred on unprecedented
Then
scale.
you should consider seeking medical attention. You can use the radio in my kinema to call your station's Lazareth. Was there anything else you wanted?
Tell me about the
What
case.
do you want to know?
I literally can't remember anything about it. I can't remember a single thing. Oh, everyone from different precincts.
Ah, yes. The case brief you missed. Now I remember.
Brief, yes, that sounds good.
3 days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in Martinez. An anonymous caller said there was a dead body behind the Whirling in Rags hostel cafeteria. The cadaver had been there for 4 days. No one had come to investigate. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor dispute between the local dock workers and the logistics company Wild Pines. I was told we should approach the death as part of this dispute.
I see. Wait, does the briefing say who the victim was?
A security guard or worker of some sort hired by Wild Pines. This was just hearsay from Martinez, of course. We need to find out the truth.
Why didn't we know anything about the caller?
They didn't identify themselves in any way. The tone was muffled using a device of some sort. The desk could identify neither the caller's age nor sex.
Why hide themselves?
There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The dock workers' union is the de facto police in Martinez. Now it appears they've started executing too. We cannot allow that.
Hold on, and the RCM is...
That's us, the Revachol Citizens Militia. We're the police in this city.
We're the Revachol Citizen Militia, RCM for short.
The RCM, or the Revachol Citizen Militia, is the police force you and him are part of. A self-organized peace corps of the occupied city of Revachol. The RCM operates within a legal twilight, yet its authority is rarely questioned. It's super useful to know this.
Let me make this perfectly. Our job here is to find the killer.
That's right.
Let's see, can we go over the preliminary answer?
You mean like a brief? Do you want me to brief you again? 3 days ago, during that time, the victim had been stripped. They didn't identify. There's a strong prejudice against involving the... Just to be clear, we are police officers. It's our job to find the killer. That's the case. Uncover and arrest the killer.
Would you say this is a mysterious
No,
case?
it's not a particularly mysterious case.
Why
The
not?
deceased is a security guard for a corporation involved in a labor dispute. It doesn't take a DeLorean polymath to put the pieces together. I just don't see the case getting more mysterious than that.
Right, man, let's what more do you need?
I'm relieved that you agree.
He is glad and surprised to see an officer who can appreciate the less than spectacular.
Anything else? You look like you were about to say
Do
something.
you know the feeling when you've begun filling in a crossword, but some of your answers don't quite seem to fit? That's the feeling I have right now, for some reason.
What is the crossword?
Ah, right. Your condition. Never mind. No, it's the deceased is a security. Then you are in luck, because we are in the midst of a major strike by the dock workers' union. Maybe more than that. The union clearly wants a piece, not just of the industrial harbor, but the Wild Pines Corporation itself.
Is this a strike then? Or the first shots in a workers' coup?
I expect the case itself to be less challenging than navigating these community matters. This district isn't used to the RCM's presence, and the Union rarely overplays its hand, as it appears to have done in this case.
So is this a strike or attempted coup?
Strike, coup, revolution, it's brigandage, however you parse it.
You feel something rising through you, a familiar feeling, an opinion taking form.
Let's see, who should we grind to find pigs? Deciding on who... Why? I don't think grinding will do anyone favors. I am really, really smart. I'm unsure which side to grind to pixie. Decision must format me. Also, national. It's a fascist. We should ground the owners into fine facing. We're communists.
When I said we have to navigate community matters, I did not mean we have any say in them. I meant we should be careful. If we are not, the shit will blow right in our faces.
Makes it towards the visage. But yes, we got the communist one. More skill. Yes.
From an imaginary fan.
Now, was there anything else you wanted to know about the case?
We're from different precincts. Why are we on the same case?
I'm afraid you and I are pawns in a pissing competition.
His disdain is clear. This man would not use such an expression otherwise.
What do you mean?
You don't know? I assumed you were in on it.
You know what I'm in on. Retrograde amnesia.
Better still than an imbecilic cop-off.
Kappa?
It's just stupidity.
What kind of
The
stupidity?
cop kind. Our precincts can't decide if Martinez is part of Jamrock or the Industrial Harbor. Yours or mine, as if we somehow own parts of the city. Typical street gang mentality. So we've let the Union make a mockery of law enforcement here. And now it's come to its natural conclusion.
Through the struggle over who runs Martinez. Apparently, I guess the precincts are having, beef over whose jurisdiction this falls into. And so with this arm wrestling of jurisdiction, pretty much neither one is truly filling the void, and so now the Union basically just fills the void. And basically with both precincts sort of neglecting it, it's pretty much, and more concerned with like fighting each other, pretty much the Union runs things, and eventually there was an accident because I guess they don't have, well, our sad level of training. We have such a level of training that literally showing up to drunk on the job is considered tame. So this is a struggle over who runs.
Well, sort of. It's less a matter of who gets to police Martinez than who has to. It's an orphan district, in other words. I think the dispatch desk just told both our stations about the hanging. There was quite the brouhaha at the 57th, I can tell you that. Time to settle it, they said. Cop off. But I assure you, I am not their finest or toughest with 102 cases solved. What I am is least interested in a pissing competition.
So basically, the lieutenant was sent to compete with me because he's probably like the one person in their department. He seems to be like one of the few people in the department who actually takes his job seriously. So that means he's probably by default just one of the best people simply because he's actually trying. And he was sent to compete with me, who I guess, since I have a massive record, apparently despite my mental disabilities, as being one of the best cops in the other station. But he's not interested in a competition. He just wants to solve the case.
So he volunteered to represent the 57th, but not out of competitiveness. On the contrary.
Just wants to solve the case. And that's something I can respect.
Somewhere in your mind hangs a dark green blackboard. There are two columns. One says, cases solved. The other, confirmed kills. The rows are endless.
Look for Precinct 41.
Jean Vicmer, Judith Minot, a special consultant. What was his name? Then the rows degrade into green nothingness. Your brothers have left you.
Oh no! I have left the police brotherhood. The Union won't back up for me when I commit police brutality. So you volunteered to spoil it.
Yes. I'm an unrepentant spoilsport.
That's probably a healthy attitude, considering these are literally people's lives they're playing. For some reason, I thought you had 104 solved cases.
Well, technically. The official record keeper has been known to double-count murder-suicides.
Oh.
A common accounting gimmick used to inflate precinct stats.
So apparently, oftentimes, police officers will cook the books, or basically play funny games with the numbers, in order to make themselves seem like they've accomplished more than they have, likely to impress their superiors, get bonuses, promotions, that sort of stuff. But you're still a good cop, right?
I'm good enough for this case. I'm not here to compete. I came because I had to. My fellow officers, the sergeants in particular, would have made this scene into a circus.
What's so special about Martinez?
Martinez? Nothing. It's just a puddle at the end of some drain pipe. No one cares about this place. They care about sports. Most of our colleagues don't even know how to get here. North of the interchange doesn't exist.
So basically, the cops, they're just in it for the pissing competition. They don't care about the actual city or its residents. Like, my character and Kim are practically like the only people who take the job seriously. If there's any Basically, like, the RCM is practically the poster child for ACAB, and it's because the RCM, in and of itself, is in such a bad situation. This is not exactly a happy place in the world. I wonder what this says about me. I was sent by my station. Let me make a move. So what should we say? Is there anyone in chat to give an opinion? I'll wait a moment. Maxi, Harlan. I guess not. I need to turn up the volume on this a little bit. Let me know if you want me to turn it down. Well, actually, I know my kill count. It's 3 people. I'm gonna leave what I've sent unspecified.
The silence carries.
Okay, enough of the competition. Tell me something else.
Yes, it's a wholly pointless matter. Forget I ever mentioned it.
Nothing. Complete a secret task. A task we didn't know. And we got another skill point. Cool.
Yes?
Let's...
Because you're the best qualified. No, that doesn't seem right.
That makes sense. I'm extremely qualified.
If you're so well qualified, why can't you remember why you were sent? Anyway, don't keep the lieutenant waiting.
Okay, hopefully you can't hear too much background noise. Anyway.
Yes?
Anyway, we need to complete our stuff for the night. We're gonna prepare for a lore dump. If you love lore,
This is the door to the room you redecorated.
Good night, Lieutenant.
Just a moment. You had some questions earlier, I believe. And besides, we should discuss our progress on the investigation. Let's go out to the balcony.
Alright, let's go. Let's chat with the Lieutenant.
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum. Then,
I sadly didn't accomplish this quite as much as I was hoping we would.
Where shall we begin? We should talk about the investigation, first and foremost. But I also remember you wanting to discuss the RCM?
I didn't know you smoked, Kim.
I have a cigarette every night when I go over my notes. It's something of a ritual.
oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
How did you get so cool, Kim?
You mean this? This isn't cool. It's an unnecessary trial of will, and unhealthy.
To be fair, that is the case.
Keeping the habit within the parameters he's given himself takes a lot of focus. It would be easier to simply quit. Yet, were he to quit, he would lose the cool factor. This man relishes his cool quite a bit below it all.
Right then, the debrief.
Yes, it's been a long and eventful day.
Volition is probably the best for us to not die. How do you think today went?
We performed a thorough initial inspection of the victim's body, so that's good. One could say it's the main thing to do in a murder. Then you shot the body down, which was quite a shot.
I was inspired by your confidence. And me, Kim?
I admit I wasn't sure whether I should give you the gun, but I'm glad I did. Your shot enabled us to perform a field autopsy on the victim. We found some things we can really work with. Moreover, you found that the hanged man wasn't just hanged, he was also shot. That was some excellent detective work. And you managed to locate and pull out the bullet, so we can get ballistics, make off the gun. All this is invaluable.
The least I could do, given all my past
The rest
mistakes.
is up to the boys in processing. Maybe they will surprise us by doing their job for once, but I wouldn't count on it. We also performed a thorough search of the crime scene. All in all, we handled the situation very professionally. Now for the interviews.
Well, actually, I understand how a lot more communication is, but I didn't, do it very well. The initial interviews, yes, we talked to some people.
Not always the right people, I'm afraid. We weren't able to find the union leader, Everard Clare, much less interview him. So that's on the to-do list for tomorrow. We talked to Joyce Messier, but didn't get any information from her. I have a feeling Joyce knows how dangerous the situation really is. We have to get her to talk to us.
If Kim is emphasizing something this much, it really must be important.
Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice?
Let's see, what should we say? I don't like to waste time, my mind moves fast. Fast doesn't keep up.
It's impressive, especially for a man your age. And in those hills.
Now it's there without tapping his finger on it there.
Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange.
He looks at your snakeskin shoes and smiles suddenly. What are our powers exactly?
They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Ravachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule.
1,000? Why not more?
The RCM's primary role is to ensure safety. We are not really supposed to play any part in the economic structure of Ravachol.
So basically, we're here to oppress poor people. We're not here to actually regulate businesses, or regulate the actual systems of power in Ravachol. All these major companies, you do what you want. We can't really stop you, but we can what's this? You're doing, I don't know if you do some crazy stuff steal your employees' wages. We'll fine you for $1,000, and that's literally all we can do. Wouldn't that be an easy power to abuse, since we can just 1,000 fines for everything?
Yes, although indirectly, as citizens can always request records from their local station. Officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine amount. It undermines trust in the RCM.
To be fair, from what I understand, that's probably how we make our money, because then we aren't paid much. Do know that it cost us $100 for our hotel room. We make it cost us 100 real to fix up our hotel room. That's with all the damages cost. We get paid 5,000 per year. The armor we pulled off that dead body costs less than that. Costs more than that, I should say. Okay, what else?
We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station cold sleep. It prevents confusion and overcrowding.
Oh wait, how can we ensure the arrestee will show up?
You can't. Those who don't show up become fugitives, though, and have fewer legal rights when they are eventually caught. It's about power projection. Thus far, they seem to mostly show up.
I see, and if someone resists?
As you may have gathered from the fact that we are expected to carry a record of our kills, like the one in your watermarks, we are permitted to use whatever force is necessary, and strongly admonished not to abuse that power.
Considering what we've seen in real life, I'm not quite sure how effective those matters be. I mean, if I'm literally showing up drunk on the job, and that's considered standard practice, or if that's considered tame, I'm guessing we don't really have a lot of oversight. So wait, so if I kill someone while on duty,
you have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary to use lethal force. In these cases, your partner is usually your witness.
And the thing is, they will probably vouch for us.
Not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases thoroughly, by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It is hard to cover for anyone, which is for the best.
I don't know if that's going to be the case. So what happens to the people we convict?
We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Courron and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them.
So basically, Revachol doesn't have its own court system. We literally use the court system created by... We basically use like the UN. It's like they use the UN court system. Who makes all these rules? The coalition government?
Yes, the international community's mission in Revachol, and the moral intern more broadly. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No more, no less.
He stares absently fixed on a window below those one.
Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Revachol or the coalition government founded the RCM.
I'm going to say it was the citizens. I presume my character's internal thought process is that he believes he works in the interest of the people rather than the government, and that he just cooperates with the government because they give him funding. I presume that's probably how my character, who is literally a communist, internalizes it. And probably how we want to internalize it. If I was an actual cop, that's probably how I would play it in my head, how they'll help me sleep at night.
Be sentimental if you like. Either way, the moral intern leases us the right to keep the peace in this city, and they will take it away if we misuse it.
Or if we just disobey their commands.
Or if they think you do.
Or if they think we do. That's probably a good point, Rhetoric. Moral intern. What is it
The Moralist
exactly?
International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed.
I really don't know. That's how bad it is in here.
Okay. They're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations in the world.
So basically they're a coalition of political parties. Something like the Commenter, or basically it's an international coalition of political parties who've all combined who basically have combined the efforts of not just their political parties, but the governments that they control. It's literally centrists who run the world. What do they believe in?
What do they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence Dolores Day 4 centuries ago. Others say they are just technocrats.
Okay, so basically they're technocrats, meaning that they believe that people who are particularly skilled in a subject or matter should be running the world. Do you know this is this is considered to be anti-populist. Basically, they argue that the masses that are unskilled and thereby shouldn't get the right to have political participation. They believe that only those who are well educated, and by that they mean elite, should have power.
Those others say they continue the humanist project set forth by Dolores Day.
Basically, they argue that Dolores Day probably wasn't a great political figure. What is their
Interesting
symbol?
question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline. I think you can gauge what they want you to think of them from that.
What? That sounds like a cult would say.
Something kind and usual. Something almost self-explanatory. Something ominous. Something like the dark blue, serious color of the early night sky above.
Who was Dolores Day?
A historic figure? The author of the modern age? You will have to look elsewhere for opinions. The subject of humanism is too abstract for me.
What do you think of
The
them?
moral intern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. And it doesn't look like that's about to happen.
How do you know, Kim?
It is more than that. There's some kind of affection in him.
You like the moral intern.
Yes, I did. when I was younger. In my 20s, I considered myself a moralist. A blue forget-me-not, a piece of the sky. They're not all that bad.
That's another that's another saying associated with moralism.
But the years have changed that. I don't know what I believe in now. No, I believe in the RCM. That's enough for me.
Basically, Kim used to be a centrist, but now he's cynical and doesn't really know if he believes much of anything. I have an opinion on the moral.
Do you?
In here giving us the right to police rubbish. We could say we can be bootlickers. We can say that this isn't real humanism. We are stooges of the world's biggest bourgeoisie organization, protecting bourgeoisie rights. Immigrants, liberal. I'm presuming that's a racial slur in this universe. They're turning men into women. On second thought, I don't have an opinion. Forget it. We're communists, so.
No. We are stooges of the world's biggest bourgeois organization, protecting the people of Hammerstrom. That's the hand we were dealt. Without the MI, we would be common vigilantes.
Maybe we should make our own law?
Spoken like a revolutionary, not a cop. But hypothetical aside, in Martinez we already are vigilantes. At least the Union thinks so. I expect our job here to prove quite challenging. They're quite limited, actually. The power of... We can arrest people, of course, as you may have gathered from the... Yes, the RCM was formed by the coalition, or perhaps it is better to say we were... It's probably more honest, yes.
Or if they think you do.
Okay, so we got to be communist. Say nothing, just look into the night.
The dying lights of the city shimmer below. Slowly, like luminous clouds, they pass on his lenses. The lieutenant looks at his slim cigarette, contemplating the next drag. This soldier is the highlight of the day for me, he thinks. This little stick right here.
They really don't like us here. And the mouth on that kid, Kuno. It's different in land, in Jamrock, in the GRIH.
Why are they like
It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the Union, to the company, not daring to come here more often. It's like I told you, this place is an orphan, fallen between the cracks.
Basically, we've neglected them. We've never helped them before, so they have no reason to trust us, which makes sense. I mean, when we've probably only come here when we want to cause trouble, or when there's something that we're interested in, but otherwise, we kind of just don't really help anyone. So, why should they think we're the legitimate authority? And Jamrock and Griff?
We run this city. West of the river is RCM land.
He looks through the dark silhouette of an equestrian monument cutting into the night sky.
It's incredibly hard. Human beings are... But we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization works, our systems work. If they didn't, the city would disintegrate.
I hope our investigation will improve the situation. They should do some good.
Me too. But I wouldn't count on any drastic changes in our lifetimes.
He is very tired, but the dark circles under his eyes make him look younger, not older. The dying... This...
They really don't. It's our fault for leaving this. We run this. Probably not.
He is very tired, but the dying light... This...
It's our fault. We run this. Me too. But...
He is very tired, but the dark circles under his eyes make him look younger, not older.
Alright, thanks for talking, Kim.
Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
He puts out the stub on his cigarette. Puts out the stub of his cigarette and looks through the door. Here's the question: should we sleep or should we run around and try to talk to people in the night? Well, Kim's not here. And not here to remind us, hey, you're sucking off from your job. Well, Kim, it's already late at night. see. It's time we got. Usually I like to stream for 2 hours, at least that seems to be what I'm doing. Jim wants to sleep, so I'm just gonna let him go. See you in the morning. See you then, Kim. And we're free for the night. We can lay down, or we could... Our window's still smashed.
The window stands broken. You see some light.
Anyway, we're feeling sure how rank the smell in here is. They should have sent a poet. Well, let's take care of some stuff. Let's fix this
A
sink.
mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression.
Let's see what's causing the expression anyway.
It
Hey, we found
belongs
out.
in the new, the third decade of the current century. Enough time had passed from the failure of the revolution that, for a fleeting moment, free market economy seemed like the ultimate, uncontested way of life for our species.
Okay, what does it have to do with the expression on my face?
Things were good. It was smooth sailing. People made gold and champagne-tinted interiors and facades to suit the times, calling this the new style. But more importantly, disco happened.
This is what caused disco.
Forget about ostentatious orchestrations. For Revachol, your city, that meant only one thing. Guillaume le Million. If it doesn't rhyme, you're not pronouncing it right. Out of the dazzling swirl of disco music, in an open-air boîte de nuit, somewhere in Revachol West, Guillaume's blonde mane appeared on the screen. He sang some bullshit. Then he made the expression.
So I adopted it. Why?
Everyone loved it. Maybe you thought some of the stardust would rub off on you. Maybe it did. Either way, it's all gone now. Only the grimace remains.
Grimace smile with this overly red nose. Still need to make a clicking sound when I make it. Click, click.
The click is used to spur on a horse. It also features heavily in Guillaume le Million's regional mega hit, Don't Worry, Your Pretty Little Head. Sometimes you like to add finger pistols to the mix, because, unlike Guillaume le Million, you are a police officer. It's your nifty little way to say, I'm armed and dangerous.
I see. So basically, we're nostalgic. Basically, we seek solace in, like, I guess, the pop culture, and we're nostalgic for it, I guess. And it's just, we're stuck in that mode now. How long ago was the news?
There is a vast ocean of time between right now and the expression. Looking good on you, or anyone. 2 decades, if the calendar is to be trusted. Humanity has run aground in that time. It's a different world now. The expression is a relic.
Anything else? Like who I am? Why did I become a cop? Why did I drink myself into oblivion?
You have some understanding of the near history of disco, plus the trivia you've picked up along the way. Episodic memory, however, remains in the dark. It may never return. You should prepare yourself for that.
So we should prepare ourselves for the possibility we'll never forget who we are. Thanks, Encyclopedia. Does this have anything to do with ostentatious orchestrations?
Not really. Oh must have just stirred your mind. They're more like a disco rock band anyway.
Ah. Guess that's it then.
It doesn't have to be. You can swoon over Guillaume and his champagne cork smile whenever you want to. Maybe some of the stardust will return.
I don't know about that. Can we stop it from happening?
Still not happening. It won't come off that easy.
Guess not. Let's see if we can stop the mirror from fogging up.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall.
Stop the steam from
In
fogging up
it,
the mirror.
the faucet is quite terribly mangled. but you just might be able to twist its parts into place. You handle the chain cutters deftly, applying just enough pressure. The faucet regains a recognizable shape. The steam stops.
Ah!
Told you that you needed those chain cutters. Everything is connected. Everything has a purpose. The mirror begins to clear slowly without you having to wipe it.
Let's see if we can increase our electrochemistry. Lows. Fingerless cadet.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. It's still not happening.
Well, guess that's not gonna be happening anytime soon. Gardening gloves back. This one provides actual bonuses. But yay, we're actually figuring stuff out about ourselves, and we fixed our sink. That's baby steps, people. Baby steps to fixing our life.
This is not the cleanest bathtub in the world, but it's cleaner than you are right now. Ah, that soap scum smell. It smells like life, at least compared to you.
I want to live forever with a corpse smell. No, we want to actually have a bath. We're not like some neckbeard who like just lives. Well, actually, I kind of am. Just lives on our computer and never takes a shower. We actually take showers. It's the first step to getting our lives.
The bathtub slowly fills with water. The water beckons.
Undress, close your eyes, and
The water is only lukewarm, but still comforting. Like amniotic fluid. A few beer cans are bobbing up and down along your flanks, like sad duckies.
Ooh, beer can duckies.
You feel nice and lonely, and so tired.
You know, let's take the beer cans out.
Now you are alone with your thoughts in the tub. But it's easier than being alone with your thoughts outside the tub.
Linger in the tub a
Your
little.
fingers grow pale and are covered with tiny whirls as the water cools.
Imagine something.
You see the corpse. You can still smell the cadaver on you. It's going to take more than one bath to get rid of that stench.
Well, it's better than
Then,
nothing.
houses along a narrow street. A video rental. Darkness on the planet's curvature.
Having PTSD about something.
The waterline recedes as you stand. You are cold now. Your clothes stick to your still moist skin.
Took a bath. This is literally like... This is actually like a part of our character's like... This actually is really helpful for him, to be honest. Which is kind of sad, but... Makes sense. Well, for your guys' sake, we're going to have our character hit the town. He's not going to do drugs or anything like that, but I just want to see if we can talk to people without him interrupting. Plus, we need money. This thing on the front page rings a bell. Strange. We won't be out long. We're just going to talk to Joyce and come back. Get our lowdown on reality. Looks like the wheelchair lady's got home for the night. Looks like the car is gone for the night, too. Oh, Tim must be driving off to take care of the body. Too bad, we could have made some radio calls. Actually, to be fair, he probably parked it somewhere. There's lady with the... Yo, Joyce. I've got some questions about...
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
I've got some questions about
More
reality.
lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
What times are
These
these?
are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Too late for what?
the big time.
What's the big time?
The revolution.
What does revolution keep hearing
It's
about?
quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide they are... Anyway, enough. Glad to have been of assistance.
You know what? I think it'll be more interesting if we have Kim talking to us while we talk to Joyce. We can talk to Joyce later. We need sleep. Especially since we're gonna have some bad dreams. You'll see what I mean. And plus, we still need time to talk to the unions so that so that you guys in the audience, well, whoever's actually here, can see interesting stuff. Especially when we meet Measurehead. Gotta get past him first. Anyway, I'm saying luck sleep will do us good. I know our detective here is going to bed earlier than I do in real life. Bad state of our room, but rather nothing. Let's see, what's this?
The fan stands still. The lights are on. The fan stands. The lights.
Yeah, we can probably afford lights off since we're about to go to bed. Well, good night, everyone.
The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours. The sheets look awful.
Crawl in.
The sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight as you stretch out and finally close your eyes. And then sleep doesn't come.
Oh? I literally went to bed early.
And then sleep doesn't come.
But I want to sleep!
Obviously, you're in bed with your eyes closed, but it's not happening.
Why?
Maybe it's the bed's fault.
Check the pillow.
Its synthetic filling has separated into hard lumps. The pillowcase smells oddly. Smells of alcohol and sweat and grease.
Check the
It
blanket.
barely covers your toes, stretching over your soft belly. This is your body here, intimate and warm, breathing. Under your thrumming eyelids, you see a dizzying array of colors. You won't get off this carousel quite so easily.
Roll over the
It's a
other
little
side.
better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still litter your mind. Part of you is still trying to solve the case, isn't it?
Who killed him? Who?
Something to do with, what was it that the lieutenant said? Union? And it's gone again. Your thoughts lost between the slowing brain waves.
No more thoughts. I'll sleep now.
Your breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch in your sleep and images start forming.
Uh-oh. The hotel. Where are we? The dreamscape. We're in the dream world now, maybe. Can't wander far. Martinique. Dream Martinique is much smaller than actual Martinique. So let's come on. Oh, it's a disco. It's us. We're a disco ball. Actually, it's a disco ball weighing against our body. But anyway, we are in the dream. We are the dead man, and it's a disco ball.
Do you remember the scent of your childhood?
I was born in a hospital where people usually... What is this?
What it says on the can, Harry. Answer the question.
Bloated corpse of a drunk. Harry, I was born in a hospital. People usually go to die.
You're not kidding anyone, Harry. You don't remember shit. Tell me, do you remember your wife's hand on your face?
Tell me what this is. I'm not answering before you tell me who you are.
You know who I am. I'm the bad day. The one where you ask her, and then later in the streets wandering. It's the worst day of all time, Harry dear. And it's coming. She will hear about it on the phone. Reality will turn into a grotesque nightmare. This will be the last thing you did to her. Tell me, do you remember the love of your life?
You said who?
Do you remember the warmth of her thighs, between her legs and in her mouth?
Well, that's an explicit way to say it. I was left.
That's right, funky baby. And you just stood there. One hand on the bottle and the other on your dick. Watching her go. Let it all be dragged away from you. Tell me, where are your friends? Human beings have friends, Harry boy. Where the hell are yours?
I can get it all back.
No, it's gone. 3 times gone and never coming back. You failed. You failed me.
Well, so basically I failed myself, because if you're me, then, well, you're like dead and you're terrible me, then.
You failed Elysium.
What is Elysium?
Everything. The Pale and the Isolas on the surface. The outer magnetosphere. Burning, furious truth. 8,000 years of written history. You really dropped the ball, Harry. 4.6 billion people, and you failed every single one of them. You really fucked up.
I talked to you before.
No, Harry. You were just talking to yourself. That's all you ever do, even in your dreams, and the act is wearing thin. The spots on the disco ball fade around you. You'll be back in those cold snakeskins in no time, sweating up the bed. Stinky boy.
That's actually kind of funny at the end of it. I'm just thinking in the bed.
You're not coming back from shit. Thrashing around in that high conductivity state of yours, bumping into things and acting like a clown? Who are you kidding?
I'm trying to solve this case.
You're trying to what? I can't hear you. This is just a word dream now. Jumbled up garbage. The pictures are gone. The bed rises to meet you. A thin, sleep-like state. More glass than velvet, grinding in your head.
So something is wrong. Sleep shouldn't be this bad, this dry, this unnourishing. There's something wrong with your thoughts. Some kind of new type of hangover.
There's another type?
Oh yes, party boy, and it's worse than the one before. Just think of the shit you saw. Here it comes too. So soon already. A silent alarm goes off in your head like clockwork. Barely let you sleep at all. Time to get those clothes on, Harry.
Time for work.
Time to go to work in the shit factory.
Basically, our dreams are nightmares, and our day is filled with, well, the terrible job that we have.
Good going, buddy.
What the heck was
Oh,
that?
just a dream. You have ones like that all the time. You feel even worse this morning than you did last night.
With me.
You mean, why are you so tired? Too tired and down to even think? It is worrying, isn't it? You can't be a detective like this. Detectives need to be able to think.
Why is
It's
happening?
just that your heart has finally pumped all the speed out of your system, Buster. Time to get some more.
Oh, so basically, we're going through withdrawal. We are a drug addict, and we're facing withdrawal.
Don't do that. Stay strong. The hangover will wear off. You don't need to keep doing this to yourself.
Wait, what is speed?
Speed is a potent central nervous system stimulant. It kept you propped up all day yesterday, despite your debilitating hangover. How else did you think you even got up from this floor? You got up from this floor because of a holy vow you made 16 years ago. With me. To wake up exactly 7:30 every morning until the day you die. Don't be silly. There was no vow. You were high on speed. That was the only reason you got up. You can't detect without it. It's that simple.
No, we're gonna keep going. We're not gonna do drugs.
Are you sure? Ready to live as this pathetic shell of yourself for days? Basically, a week? Let's be honest, 2 weeks. Maybe 3. You won't make it. Half the town will be dead by then. You will be fired.
A lie. I can. This we're really we getting second chance and everything. Our inside, we really want to do this because we're getting literally are you sure you want to go cold turkey? I mean, we are going through withdrawal, and apparently, I don't know if our stats are going to suffer from this, but it's bad for us. That's a lie. I can do this without the speed. Half the town won't be dead. I mean, literally, they won't. That won't be.
Suit yourself, slow, sad shell man. See how you do without your spark.
Oh dear. Well, at least we're still going. Save, and unfortunately, I'll let you hear the interesting sounds, but I've actually got to use the bathroom and get food. I'll be back in a few minutes, probably 10, 20 minutes ago. See you then.